and you stay in the warm. You don't want to get any more nasty headaches.
Is Icky's head all better now, honey girl?
Oh, yes, mine bird, but it was a very nasty headache. We don't like headaches, do we, Icky?
Do you like cameras?
Oh, no, you sneaking up on me again, you bad naughty old silly old pointy-eared lep, you.
Don't I always?
Yes, you do, naughty old lep.
Come on, do your piece.
Hello, everybody. This is Lacey. I hope you've all had a very pretty week.
And hi everyone, this is Bert. Now come on, Impy. Who's going to remember? You or Icky? I think you'd better let Icky do it, as he's had such an awful headache.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway, mine bird, because Icky and I both want the same thing. We want the story about Princess Trelaine and how it stood to be special. Come on, do the magic, do the magic.
Magic voices fill the air. Magic memories take us there.
Oh, there you are, Impy. I'd about given you up. Did you have a nice time?
It was all right.
How's Linwin?
She's all right too. Where's Mummy and Daddy?
Oh, they've gone out Christmas shopping with Alfie. Impy, what's wrong?
Nothing's. We're fine, aren't we, Icky?
Come on, Impy. You don't keep secrets from your Bert, do you? When you come back from Linwin's, you usually scamper in all full of beans. Today you walked in and you're not even shouting. Icky, make her tell me what's wrong. I hope that Linwin hasn't been nasty to you, darling, because if she has...
No, she hasn't, Bert. She hasn't. I promise she hasn't. It's only she was...
Oh, Impy, darling. Look. Now, come on. Come over here and tell your Bert all about it. Oh, dear, what on earth could have upset my Impy Imp so?
We'll be all right in a minute, won't we, Icky? Come on, sit down here, Icky. It's nothing, really. It's nothing. I'm just being silly.
You don't cry over silly things, sweetie girl. Now, come on, tell me what's up.
Well, it's just the thing is, Linwin keeps going on and on about all the lovely things they're doing at her stall for Christmas, and about the great big tree they're having and all the decorations they're making, and about all the parties they're having and the special Christmas dinner, and they're having a great big concert and another party and presents, and Father Christmas is even coming.
But Impy, you're going to have a party at Rainbow's. We'll all be there too, even little Alfie. And there'll be games and presents and lovely food.
I know, but Father Christmas isn't coming, and we're not having Christmas dinner, nor a concert, and we don't have room for a great big tree. Oh, you silly little one, it's not fair. I wished I went to Linwin's school.
Well, you know you could go to school if you wanted to, sweetie girl. Mummy and Daddy have always said if you want to stop doing your lessons at home, you only have to say.
Why don't I do my lessons at school, Bert? I don't understand. I don't know anybody else who doesn't go to school. Everybody at Rainbow's does.
But you know why, Impy darling. We've been through this before. You're not like everyone else. You're special. You know what used to happen at Rainbow's with Skylar Harris and those? There would be a lot of older boys and girls at school, and we were afraid you'd get bullied worse.
I wouldn't like that, Bert. But I don't want to be special. I just want to be the same like everybody else is and do the same things everybody else can do.
Oh, sweetie girl, and we've been through that before too. Don't you remember when I told you about Fairy Sweet Thought? Sometimes it's good to be special. Stars, when you're special, you don't know what you might be able to do, like Princess Trelaine found out.
Oh, who's Princess Trelaine? Was she special too? And didn't she like it?
Well, do you remember me telling you about Princess Avalon, who was turned into Twee, the troll princess?
Oh, yes! The one who married Prince Arven. Was Princess Tweelane their daughter? It's a story about her. Tell me.
Okay, snuggle up then, Lacey loves, and I will.
Come on, Icky. Snuggle up, Icky. Put your feet up, Icky. That's right, they're comfortable. That's right, Icky. Now we're going to have a nice story, so I don't want to hear one peep out of you. Don't move. I don't want any fidgeting, Icky. You got to be very quiet and not interrupt the story. Is that clear? Good. Right, we're ready, Bert.
Are you sure he's ready now, Impy?
Yes, we're all ready now.
Okay then, goody. Now, years had passed in the kingdom of Ceylan. Arven's father, the old king, had gone to high country, and Arven was the new king. Twee was his queen, and, as I told you at the end of the last story, a very kind, gentle, wise and good queen she was too.
Oh, how lovely.
As the years passed, the king and queen were blessed with 3 younglings. First, there were born twin princes. They were named Arvor and Arvon. They grew up to look just like their father. Handsome, sturdy little boys with curly hair, rosy cheeks and big brown eyes.
Oh, how cute.
Then there was born a princess. From the moment of her birth, her parents knew she was different. Do you remember what Twee looked like, Impy?
Yes, I think so. She was blue, wasn't she? Little and blue, with very long arms. And she had a troll face and big pink eyes and upswept purple hair.
Clever, Impy. Well, the new princess had rose-petal thin skin of the purest baby blue. Her downy hair was lilac, but her eyes were amazing. In some lights they looked pink, but if you looked again, they seemed to sparkle all the colours of the rainbow.
Oh, goodness, that is different, isn't it? But I think she sounds beautiful.
She was beautiful, in a special way. Her parents loved her and were very proud of her. They named her after her mother, Tweelane.
Oh, that's a lovely name, isn't it, Icky?
Never mind, Icky. Yes, it is. Now listen, more years passed, and the princes and princess grew into healthy children. The twin princes loved to be outdoors all day. They loved running, jumping, climbing trees, and best of all, riding on their ponies in the palace grounds or exploring the surrounding area with their tutor.
Oh, that sounds exciting.
All the people loved the brave young princes. They bowed or curtsied whenever they saw them galloping by, leaping gates or hedges, having races, or doing any of the other daredevil things they did. Princess Tweelane was different, though. She was very beautiful in her own special way. Her baby blue skin was smooth and delicate. Her long lilac hair swept the ground and was as smooth and shiny as silk. Her big rainbow eyes held a gentle glow.
Oh, she sounds so lovely. Did she like to play outside too?
Well, she would have, Impy, but the people were unnerved by the way she looked. Tweelane loved to gather flowers and pretty leaves, or look at the sky and the trees. But when she was playing in the palace gardens, the other children of the courtiers and nobles, used to tease her. They threw sticks and dirt at her. "Yeah, purple wig," they would jeer. "You're wearing a purple wig, little baby. Run back to Mama."
Oh, those nasty children. Oh, some of those mean dolls and rainbows used to call me a little baby and a little sissy, so I know how that feels.
I know. It got so that Princess Tweelane didn't want to go out any more. She would stay inside with her mother, or, when she was too busy, with Mira, her old nurse. She would sit on a silk cushion and do embroidery, or knitting, or play with her dolls. Then she would cry and wish that she was like everyone else.
I know how that feels too.
I know you do, sweetie girl. Well, one day when Tweelane was playing alone as usual, she heard a big commotion down in the courtyard and one of her brothers crying bitterly. Now, Tweelane loved her brothers dearly, so she put on her little blue slippers, picked up her long white skirts, and ran as fast as she could downstairs to see what was the matter.
Oh dear, what had happened?
Well, when she got to the courtyard, Tweelane saw a crowd gathered around her brothers. Arvor was still mounted on his black pony, but Arvon was standing by his beautiful snow-white pony. The poor pony was sweating, shaking, his head drooped down, and he could hardly move.
Oh no, the poor pony.
"My poor Lancelot," Prince Arven sobbed. "He stumbled and turned his off-hind hoof in a rabbit hole not far outside the gates. It has taken the whole day to get back here. Can no one help him?"
Oh go.
An old groom with a weather-beaten face and a long bushy beard elbowed through the crowd, made his way to the shivering pony, and gingerly felt the injured leg. "I'm sorry, your highness," he said, straightening up. "I grieve to tell you the fetlock is broken. There is nothing can be done for him now but to end his suffering. Say your goodbyes, then go inside."
Oh, how sad. What's the fetlock?
"Oh, it's a bone in a horse's leg, Impy, almost like the ankle. Horses are delicate. If they break their bones, it's very serious because you can't put them in plaster like you can a human. They just get more and more ill. There's really nothing you can do for them. It's very sad."
Oh dear. The poor horsey. So what happened?
Well, Arven knew all about horses. He was a practical little boy, and he knew the old groom spoke the truth. He put his arms around his pony and kissed him. Then he stepped back, almost blind with tears, but he didn't go inside. "I shall stay with Lancelot till the end," he said. Prince Arven dismounted, and then he patted and stroked the pony too. Then Elaine shyly came forward. "Brother, may I say good-bye to Lancelot?" she asked. "Hurry then, sister," said Arven. "He is in pain."
Oh, that's so nice of Elaine. She liked him too.
Yes, Princess Elaine stroked the pony softly. Then something made her put her hand down and run it tenderly the length of the pony's injured leg. Lancelot nodded his head sharply and gave a whinny. Prince Arven started forward, thinking his sister was hurting his friend, but then he stopped in wonder. Princess Elaine's eyes were blazing brightly in all the colours of the rainbow.
Oh, didn't this? Oh, what was she doing?
"I'm about to tell you, in face." Elaine kept stroking Lancelot's injured leg, and her eyes shone brighter and brighter. Suddenly Lancelot stopped shivering. He lifted his head and gave a joyful neigh. He lifted the leg that hadn't been able to move and pawed the ground with his hoof. He was cured.
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Did you hear that? Oh my goodness! Oh, was he really all right, Bert? Was he really all right? Did the people like Princess Elaine after that?
Now come on, Icky, make us sit down. I've got work to do. I'm not going to tell you the story if you're going to run around all over the place. Now come on, Icky.
I told you about running round and getting into trouble and interrupting Bert. Now sit down, Icky. You're being very naughty. Sorry, Bert. Sorry. Is he really good now? Is he really good? Please go on with the story.
Are you sure he's going to behave now?
Yes, he really will. You will behave, won't you, Icky? Now answer my questions, Bert. Was the pony really all right? And did her brothers really like her after that?
Wait a minute, Impy. You're getting ahead of yourself. Yes, Lancelot was absolutely all right. Good as new. Prince Arven was overjoyed, as was Prince Arven, because he was really fond of his brother and would have hated anything bad to happen which would have made him so sad. They were both so grateful to their little sister that they began spending more time with her, which made her happier. But she still wasn't totally happy because most people were scared of her. King Arven didn't want people to know about what had happened with the pony. He thought it would make things more difficult for Elaine, so he ordered it be kept a secret. But if Queen Twee got a bad headache, or one of the boys got a cold, or if any of their animals got sick, Princess Elaine's healing hands were always there to help them.
Oh, how lovely.
Well, in this way the years passed, and Elaine grew up, and with every year she grew more beautiful, graceful, and gentle. Then one year, when Princess Elaine was nearly 16 years old, the kingdom had a very cold winter, and people began to get ill, as they had once before.
Oh, no.
I'm afraid so, Impy. Queen Twee and the court physicians made gallons of her healing mixture and sent it all over the kingdom, but it didn't do much good. This sickness was something no one had met before, and no one knew what to do.
Oh, how awful.
Yes, it was, Impy. Queen Twee sat up all night, looking through old herbal books. King Arven sent riders all over the kingdom, searching for remedies. Nothing helped.
Oh, dear.
Now, one night, Queen Twee was sitting surrounded by books, and King Arven came to her. "You must get some rest, my love," he said. "You will make yourself ill too, and you will do no one any good. The kingdom needs you, to say nothing of your children and I."
He's a lovely, kind king.
Yes, he is. "How can I rest?" cried Queen Twee. "Our people are so sick. It will not be long before we lose some, or many. How can we help them?" At that moment the door opened and old Mira came in, leading Princess Twelaine by the hand. Twelaine was half asleep. She was dressed only in her nightgown, and her long hair flowed down her back and trailed on the ground behind her.
I bet she can help.
The king wasn't pleased at this interruption. "You forget yourself, Mira," he said angrily. "You have no business here, nor does Her Highness. Take her away." "Your Majesty," said old Mira, "Her Highness has every business here, and well, it is time I remembered myself." There was a blinding flash of light, and the tiny, wrinkled grey woman who had been Mira was gone. There, in her place, stood... Who do you think, Impy?
I don't know, Bert. I don't know. We don't know, do we, Icky? Tell us.
Well, I thought you may have guessed. There stood the fairy Marinelle, the wise old fairy who had blessed Princess Avalon's cradle, the fairy who had turned her into Twee, who had helped her become the queen. She had come back to the kingdom of Kaylam and been Twelaine's nurse for all those years.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yes, Queen Twee gave a cry of joy, rushed to her old friend, kissed and hugged her. "Oh, Marinelle, Marinelle," she wept for joy. "You have been with us all this time, but why did you not tell us?" "I was protecting and caring for Twelaine, Your Majesty," said Marinelle. "As soon as she was born, we knew in Fairyland that she was one of the Wisen, a race of special humans with magical powers. If they were to be developed, as they should, she needed my special care. And now, enough. There is work to be done."
Ooh, what work?
"You'll see." Marinelle waved her magic wand. Suddenly, Princess Twelaine's nightgown was gone. She was warmly dressed in a velvet gown of midnight blue, embroidered with gold and silver stars, and a matching cloak and hood, lined with snow-white fur.
Oh, how beautiful.
Next, Marinelle put her fingers to her mouth and whistled. There was a rush of wings, and the next moment an amazing creature had landed in front of them. It looked like a horse, but its fur was long, silky, and lilac, like Twelaine's hair. It had huge blue wings on its back, and its eyes blazed all the colours of the rainbow. Its mane and tail were shimmering gold, intertwined with streams of silver stars.
He sounds amazing.
He was. "Welcome, Starglow," said Fairy Marinelle. "Now, Princess Twelaine, ride on the air. Do what you were born to do." Princess Twelaine climbed onto Starglow's back, her face full of joy and determination. Then Starglow tossed his beautiful head and disappeared with her.
Oh, wow. And then did the sickness go away, Bert?
Yes, Impy. For weeks, Princess Twelaine and her magical mount Starglow were tireless. They flew all over the kingdom, to the smallest cottage and the largest castle. Princess Twelaine only had to touch someone sick with her magic hands, and they were instantly well again. When the spring finally came and sickness stopped ravaging the land, Twelaine was not only respected but beloved by everyone. At high summer, the king gave a huge feast in his palace gardens. It was partly for Twelaine's 16th birthday, and partly to celebrate the passing of the sickness and to give thanks that the kingdom had come through, and everyone praised the work of Princess Twelaine and Starglow. In all the rejoicing, Fairy Marinelle quietly slipped away and went back to Fairyland. Her princess didn't need protection now. She had shown that it's good to be special.
Oh, Bert. Oh, Bert. Oh, you always tell the wickedest stories. Oh, thank you. But, Bert, I don't have magic hands like Princess Twelaine. I'm not special like that. I'm not anything.
Oh, your hands don't heal people, but who says they don't have magic of some kind? Can't you make little Alfie stop crying just by stroking him? Even Mummy says you're good with him, better than I am. He likes you best of all. And you're fantastic with the day babies too, especially Wills and Harry. You've really got a talent for looking after little babies.
It's a good job with all the ones we've got here, isn't it, Icky? It's a good job, Bert.
That's true enough. You might not be magic special, Impy darling, but there's no one like you in all the world. You're very special and very precious, which is why Mummy and Daddy, and I come to that, want to protect you and don't want nasty things to happen to you. But like I said, if you decide you want to go to school, We won't stop you.
I do like my lessons now. I suppose I just didn't like that Lynn doing on about all the nice things she was going to have. She's always doing that. It just gets on my nerves. I suppose I'm just being silly. I don't know. Well, think about it. Well, it's helping Kiki. Anyway, I'm going to go in my room now for a bit and snuggle down with Vicky and have one of my restoring them tapes. I got a headache.
Oh, have you, darling? Okay, you relax for a while. Let me know if you need aspirin.
Come on, Vicky. Yes, our heads hurt as our Lynn has a television on very loud. And Kiki, we don't like loud televisions. You, Vicky. You'll go in here. That's better. Come on in here.
Oh, poor little Impy. Stupid Linwin. Oh, if only I could get my hands on her. I've got to do something about it. Hi, Brian. Brian, listen, I'm sorry to bother you. I know you're shopping, but you'll want to hear this. No, everything's okay, but Lacey's seriously upset. That Linwin's been boasting to her about all the parties and things that she's getting over Christmas. Lacey's feeling left out. We need to think of something we can do for her. Something really good. Yes, I know. I'm getting worried about that Linwin too, but we'll think about that when we have to. For now, let's concentrate on Lacey and Christmas. She's got enough presents. It's other things she needs. Some kind of really big surprise. Yes, I know we've left arrangements a bit late, but I'm sure we could come up with something. We need something that Linwin could never have. Well, I did have one idea. We could...